use it almost like a blender, really. I don't want to go to the edge because I want to leave the edge crisp. So I'm coming down as close as I can to the edge without it being... I bet you didn't realise there was so much to it, did you? Well, it depends on what you're looking for, really. I like to be as accurate as I can with these things. Now I'm using the light. You see I've lightened it up now. And I'm also going to lighten that bit just a touch there as well. That's good, good, good. Now if I wanted it even lighter than that, I can use just sparingly a little bit of white. Just to put a little bit of extra light in it. That's good. Be a bit more accurate with that. Now there's one thing before I leave the church which is going to make it look that little bit nicer, and that is to put in a kind of tiling. Just run across like this. This is with a 181. Working into the line that I'm going to reach. You see, it's not in fact very strong, but we just see it there. Same here. Now this would be straight, and then black at the top. We get just a feeling that there's not much point in putting it over on this side because you're not going to see it at all. Just enough. And then one last thing before I leave this. I'll just put see those little extras. Once you finish your picture, you can then just, you finish your detail, you can just put little extra bits in. That looks nice. Now I'm going to sharpen my pencil. I'm going to put the spire on. You'll have to come back and I'll show you that. Right, I'm about to give you another technique. People often ask me how I get my edges so accurate. Well, this is how I do it. This is a white pencil, and I just run up the edges. Yeah, you see, you're going into a blue now, Colin. Well, that's not going to matter very much because you see, you don't actually see that, and you can get away with it by just moving it, using the pencil to pull it out. See how sharp, look at the two edges there. The other side, just turn it round, I do the same thing on the other side. Make sure you can see it though. There we are. The same again. Can you see that? I'll stop halfway up and you can see the difference between them. Here we go. Tiny little detail, isn't it? It's hardly worth doing, you say. Well, I don't know. To me, very important. See how crisp that is on that edge? And look how rough that is. Yeah, let's just carry on. It makes all the difference. Like that. And because there was a bit of blue on there, we just pull it back in, otherwise we'll have a halo around him. There we are. Now while I'm in that position, I put the spire on. I can just see the spire. I'm using a 181 and I'm going to do it very carefully to start with because I've got to make sure it ain't bent. Ah, that's alright. So I'll come back the other way and make sure and just do it again. It hasn't got any weather veins or anything on the top there. So there we are. That's it. And while I'm in, I've got in this position, I'll just make sure I get that absolutely spot on. A little bit more dark there, just a touch more dark there. Maybe just a smidgen of light there, and just there. See, little refinements make the difference, and also just a little bit of colour in places like that. Now we turn it around the other way. There we have it. Now I've already put the light grey everywhere but this final little section down here. And I'll just finish that off. Okay, now the mid-grey, again I'm going to start off at the dark side, the shadow side, and add a little bit of grey in there. I'm doing these separately, and you'll see why, because it's so easy to lose your way. There's a little bit of, I put a bit of white on here previously, so there's a little bit of white because there's like an edge there. See that? Okay, I'll build that up a little later on. Leave that for the moment. So we'll start off with this area over here. Now just there, there's a window. And put it in, and put it on that side while I'm doing it. Okay. Now I'm going to use my blender here. I don't want to over blend, I just want to put a bit of smoothness into it. Now, before I do any more, can you see already I've got stonework? Now that's because I'm using this lovely, fantastic textured board. Now, that's perfect. Now we've got to build that up a little bit more. Underneath there's a shadow. We've got to get a little bit stronger with that. And just to twiddle it around. Down the edge, there's an edge there that's quite dark. So we make sure we put that in. Now we're containing it. And of course we can do exactly the same thing as before. When I showed you before, we could see, we could trim all that off. I've got a bit of an overhang there for a moment. And in a minute I'll put it in. But this is the base. Now we need to put a darker colour in. But before I do that, I'm going to put some ochre in there. Good to test it like this because you can see what you need to do on the other side then once you've done one section, when it doesn't matter quite so much on this darker area. Okay, that's good. And just a smidgen of that was the ochre 182 and this is the 283. See, only just a touch of that. Now we now need to make sure that is a little stronger. And under there is going to have to be a little stronger. And with our black, best to do this as you think of it, otherwise you end up by. There we are. Good. Now that little overhang I was telling you about, just bring it down. It overhangs just ever so slightly, like that. That's it. Good. There we are. Now we have the under the roof, and we use the 175 in quite a unique way. What we're doing here is just picking up